Hey guys, it's 75 here, and welcome back to another video where today I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks for Crunker.io. Now in today's video, we'll be going over basically how to get good. For this time, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to improve at Crunker. These are going to be some useful tips, some Crunker knowledge, and some other things to help you get better. So hopping right on into it, the first tip is to do with movement. One of the main things separating really good players with not so good players is Crunker movement. If you look at any of the top players in Crunker, they'll all be sliding around the map crazy fast. You might say, well, how do they do that? Well, you've probably already figured out slide hopping, where you jump and then shift on the landing, and then right away jump again. And that's pretty much the main tactic for getting around. I've put some links to videos about these skills in the description, including 2 by Frosty Wolf, one more intermediate and one more advanced, and one from Fire Rice on how to slide hop on 60 FPS for all you Chromebook users. Anyways, before you watch those, you might already know this, but Crunker's movement is tied to your FPS. So the higher your FPS, the sharper and tighter turns you can make. This means you want to max out your FPS for the fastest movement speed possible. So make sure you have your FPS unlocked. If you don't know how to do this, there's links in the description. And then make sure to put your settings at a good balance between looking acceptable and performing well. So now that you know how to move quickly, let's talk about the next tip. Aim. Now, aiming can be rather hard to get down, but the main tip I have for aiming is just practice. The more you practice and get the muscle memory down for aiming, the better your aim will be. I'm going to be putting a map out that is a sort of aim trainer for Crunker, so you can keep a lookout for that coming soon to you. But yeah, in general for aiming, you also need to have your sensitivity dialed in. If you feel like you're constantly aiming short of where your crosshair should be, raise your sensitivity. But if you feel like you're constantly overshooting your target, then lower your sensitivity. Once again, the aiming range I'll be releasing soon will be a good place to test this. I've also included another video from Frosty in the description about aiming, so you can go check that out if you want. Alright, moving on to the next tip, and that is getting to know the map. I want you to take the time to learn every nook and cranny of every map, so that you will know the fastest routes from one place to another, or exactly where the next point will be. Take the time to learn where all the flags are, where all the points are, and what order they come in, and most importantly, spawns. If you know where all the spawns are for every map, you'll be able to predict where people will spawn at any given time. In general, people will spawn at the furthest spawn point from any person. This means if you kill someone, they will generally respawn on the other side of the map. So you need to combine your quick movement speed with your knowledge of the map and get there and kill them as quickly as possible. If you look at any pro, you can tell they know everything about every map and are able to predict where people might be and know where the center of all the action is. Okay, moving on from that, we have picking classes. It is important to know what class to pick in different situations. These rules don't have to be followed too strictly, but it is nice to know what classes are effective against each other. Starting off with what I like to call the triangle of power. These are 3 groups which kind of have a rock, paper, scissors game going between them. First, you have the hunter class. A skilled hunter is effective against most classes because he can easily one-shot kill them. But detective is very effective against hunter because he can also one-shot kill him and he doesn't even have to get a headshot. But the full auto classes like run and gun and triggerman are effective against detective because they can spray him down before he gets the 2 shots off to kill them. Then we are back to the start where hunter is effective against triggerman. So now most of those I've been talking about are soft counters, where it's definitely possible for a skilled hunter to kill triggermen, detectives, and the like. But now let's talk about some hard counters, specifically hunter versus LMG. The LMG class can tank a sniper headshot, the only class that can, so I would call that a hard counter to hunter. Another thing to talk about is how detective can one-shot marksman, so it's a pretty effective counter there too. Overall, I feel the game is pretty balanced right now. I mean, run and gun could use a little bit of a buff, whatever. I know this section may have been a little confusing, but stick with me. Anyway, here we are at the final kind of bonus tip. I still get people asking me, how do you kill him so well? Anyways, certain guns in Crunker can give you some kickback when shot against a wall or the floor, specifically the shotgun, the sawed-off, and the RPG. So in order to jump high, you need to equip one of those weapons, sawed-off is unlocked at level 20, and jump and shoot beneath you. If you want the highest possible jump, you can actually bind jump and shoot to the same key. That's not really practical for a regular game. It takes a bit of practice to get this down, and it's a very powerful mechanic that can really help you outsmart the enemy. And with that, this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and were able to get some useful knowledge out of this. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like below and subscribe for more content like this. Trying to get to 1,000 subs, so if you could add one to that number, you know. Anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!